Hi everyone, welcome for this next part of the tutorial. So in this video I'm gonna go from where we left off, so when we get Mjolnir, until Halvtann and getting the axe, which is a full split. So some of the things I'll mention in this video, they were already explained in my previous series of tutorials, so I will just repeat the main ideas and the main ingredients. And also I will be talking about the macro, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should watch the introductory video where I explain it. So last time we just got Mjolnir, so the stomp attack, and you should know that you can cancel the stomp with a blink, like this. And doing this, we can actually get a little bit of height, because if you look closely, when Lumina stomps, she goes up a little bit. So this allows us to reach higher places. But also, what we'll be using is that we can keep momentum doing this. Also, you cannot stomp from anywhere, right? You have to be a certain height above the ground in order to trigger it. Okay. So when we get it, we are actually in the air, and you would stomp because the game teaches you how to do it, and then you would cancel to reach here. That's what I usually do. So you would be in the air here, and stomping you would arrive here, and I usually go like slide and like this and jump. Sometimes you bonk a little bit. I know that Luster does something like stomping here. You do what you prefer. The important thing, of course, is that here you are higher enough above this log so that you can stomp it, and then you would hold right and jump to try to reach this. And as usual, you will put some blinks in between. So here, this whole section relies on power slide. So you see I blink every time I can. It relies on power slide supposedly to, climb these slides and break this. So the stomp will break this obstacle, and power slide would bring you up there. So what we'll have to do instead is a slam jump. So if you stomp in the slope, you will be brought in the direction of the slope. But if you hold the other direction, so here, if I stomp and hold right, you see that I will go to the right. And I will hold actually upright just to be safe. So with this you can reach the next platform and continue like this. So this is the basic idea, and on top of this you can also jump at the moment you hit the ground, and this will give you even more height. And you see that if I don't jump, I will stick to the wall sliding, and if I jump, I will not. Lumina is back vertical. So there's a combination a bit of both. I usually use the jump one because you can adapt the height of the jump, and it's a little bit faster than if you are actually stuck to the wall with a slide like this. So this is what we're going to use basically. So you would come here, jump, a slam jump, do this same thing here. With a blink you can come high up. Either you bonk and you stomp on the left side here, or you can also reach directly. I don't know if I'm gonna get it here. Something like this. And if you have good movement, when I manage it, I mean, you can even do something like this and chain this up with this one and arrive here. But really, the main idea is what I described. So here I slide and jump. This gives, like with the speed, this gives a little bit more height to be able to reach that place, because she cannot grab this, so you have to do it like this. I mean, you can also just slide and blink if you are in the right direction, but usually I just slide and jump. And same here, so you want to go a bit to the left so that you can jump and be high enough above the ground to stomp. Because if you just jump from here, she will not stomp. And then sometimes you can reach directly here, or you would have to stomp again here. And if you just need a little bit more height here, don't forget that you can do the stomp-cancel. Alright. So next up we have a small skip that allows us not to go down here, get the voltwalker. So the idea here is to gain a bit of speed by jumping and sliding. So jumping and sliding here and jump. And then we'll do a macro in the air. So what's going to happen is that we're going to do a macro here, and we want to turn on the cloak here so that we are going to be pushed on this ledge. So this was a bit close, so you want to stomp somewhere, to do the macro somewhere around here, around like this white thing on the ceiling. Like this. But also you don't want to bonk on the ceiling, so it requires a bit of practice, and to be fair, there are days where I completely mess it up, so it's fine. If you don't feel that comfortable, at first you can just pick up the voltwalker. Because if you have to redo this like 3 or 4 times, you're already losing time. And then once you're here, what you can do is blink up, go to the left and stomp. So this will give you speed instead of just having to do the normal movement. So let's do that. I try not to fall, okay. So you would blink, go to the left, stomp. Well, I missed it, but then you would jump and keep the speed. Well, that's the thing when you're not in the actual flow of the movement anyway. Okay, something like this. And then you can blink, go there and stomp, and you arrive here at our beloved voltwalker. So you have to grab it, come here, and what we used to do was this neat trick that I want to show still, in which you throw the voltwalker here, and then you can grab it from the other side, and then you would continue. So this was a nice trick. However, there's a slightly faster movement that you can do, and which is basically given. So when you come here, you would slide, blink, and full jump. And you always get the boost there, and if you do that fast enough, you will still have the red aura that allows you to go up in this magnetic beam. And it's a fairly easy trick to do. So next up we have this one. So we want to climb there, and to do this, so we don't want to go and grab the voltwalkers, this is too long. So either you can repeat some slide jumps and getting some speed like this, and then eventually you try to do, either you have enough speed or you try to do the stomp-cancel to gain the little bit height that you miss, or you can also try to stomp. So the setup to stomp is trying to jump from here, like from the top of the slope, onto somewhere here, like around the bottom of the slope, and then you would hold up left and jump when you touch the floor. Something like this. And then if you don't push it too long, like this, you should have enough height. Potentially you need to do the stomp-cancel, but you should have enough height to reach that ledge. And if you miss, you can just hold slide, and I usually get it as a backup, like I'll try to show that. Like here I could have done it, but usually sometimes it's barely enough, and just by jumping again, by sliding and jumping again off this thing, you can actually get it. Something like this. Anyway, so then there are several options that you can have here. For any percent, you can just go to the right, or you can go to the left here, and I'll come back to this later in the video. But I'm going to save the state here. For true ending, you have to activate this wire. So for any percent, it's not mandatory. if you use the route I'm going to show now. But from here you can do what I call the lower airshkip, and I will explain this later. But again, for true ending you really need to activate this wire, because we'll use it later on. Alright, so I'll come back here later, but for now let's just continue to the right. So here it's good to have a bit of speed. You can actually get some boost when you go out of the magnetic beam here. But it's good to have some speed, because if you get stuck here, it's quite painful to get out, like exactly here. Because you need to slide, but she cannot really slide upwards. So you need to slide back out of it and go in again. So if you don't have enough, you want to have a bit of speed and blink to get to that place. In true ending, since we come from the left there, we usually have enough speed, just like this. But just keep in mind that you should maybe blink here to be safe. And to climb that thing, try just to slide jump. And if this is not working very well, you can also stomp in here. So you would stomp and hold up right, something like this, just to get out. And here also you have this kind of, you can be blocked a little bit, so you have to slide, but this one is not too problematic. And then here, same technique again, so you want to stomp there, stomp onto that thing, and up. And grab this or go there directly. It is possible to directly get it from here. I'm not very good at this, but just know it's possible. Something like this, where you would avoid bonking into the ceiling. But anyway, I hope you get the idea. I'm not really good at this. So let's continue. And here, just same thing again, if the game pushes you in the right direction. So here you would take this tube here and arrive here. It is also possible, if you get a high jump here, to go through the middle, even though this is not really faster, and this may be slower if you don't get enough speed. So this one was a failure. Something like this, I guess. But as you can see, it's not as clean. It can be clean, but just use the other strats. And here we arrive at the airshkip. So airshkip is one of the important tricks of the run, and I have a full video in the previous series of tutorial. So if you really want details about this and several ways to do it, go check that out. Here I'm going to remind the main things, also give some new setup here that I use now that Luster found, and yeah, just put the important points. So first, you should check that VSync is off. This should help. Then the idea is that we want to go to the other side. So here, usually you will climb the tower, go to the invasion scene, take a wire to the other side to the mountain, and go there and free Huldr. We want to cross that gap already, and to do this we'll use the macro. So remember I said that when you stomp-cancel, if you do it fast enough you can keep some momentum, and that's exactly what we want to do. So here we want to get a corner boost to have a lot of velocity to the left, and then use the macro as many times as we can in order to keep that speed. Now in the other tutorial we had to be careful with the wire because we had wire blink, but in this version we are free from this. We don't have wire blink, so the wire is not a problem. You can get the boost from any of these corners technically, but and that's what I mean. That's what I used to do. I used to get it from here, something like this. I'm not sure if I can get it now, but now the setup would be the following. So it's a little bit longer to set up, but it's pretty consistent. So you would climb here, go to the right, full jump. She will grab the ladder. Then you will push left, jump off it, and as soon as you can, stomp. And hold slide and left to get a nice boost. So that something like this. So here I didn't continue just because I'm explaining, but then you would start doing the macros. So I repeat, you go here, full jump, hold left, jump and stomp as soon as you can, and hold, slide and left. Like this. And these are not very good boosts, sometimes you get even better ones. And then you start macroing, so you have to get the timing right. This is a matter of habit and also having the nerves under control in a way, because if you do it too fast, so I recall you that the blink cooldown is 1 second. If you do it before that, you will stomp and this will kill all your momentum. So you really don't want to do this, and if this happens, you probably need to quit to menu and come back here. But if you don't do it fast enough, you will also lose momentum and you will arrive a bit low on the mountain. But I explain that when we get there. So here I will play relatively safe and I'll show you what you can get. So, okay, this was a good illustration of what happens if you do it too fast. So you can try to use either the sound or the visual cues. Maybe that's not a good idea that I'm talking while I'm doing it, but I'm playing relatively safe on the timing, so I will arrive low on the mountain. Yeah, okay. So I arrive a little bit low, but this happens, so if you arrive here, just do a stomp here and hold up, not like I just did. But even though so you would get something more, something a bit better, but even if you get here, just, you know, follow this path. It's a little bit annoying, but that's what it is. So ideally you would arrive at the lowest somewhere here, or sometimes it happens that you cross. So if you see that you cross, just stomp cancel to kill the momentum. So really stomp and then cancel and go to the right. But yeah, even if you arrive here, okay, thank you Lumina. Even if you arrive here a little bit below, it's okay. So what I wanted to, yeah, so somewhere here, if you stomp like this, you should be able to go up. So once you're here, what you want to do is come around here, around the tip of this thing, and try to stomp at that place, at the root, and jump. So hold up left and jump when you stomp, and you would reach there, and then either she agrees to pick up the slides, or you should mash jump to try to climb, or the other thing you can do is to try to stomp on the ice like this. So sometimes the game will actually not let you do this and will make you go down. Let's try to get the bad one. She didn't even want to stomp. And you kind of need to know how to do this because well, the game agreed there. Because sometimes with the airship you will arrive somewhere here. And it can be a little bit hard to manage if you arrive here and she's not picking up the slides or the jump, and you don't manage to stomp, so you will be pushed here and you have to do this backup. With a good skip though, you can arrive already here. And this is what we really want, ideally. So we would arrive already here and then it's quite easy. Now before moving on, I also just want to show what happens if you go too far here. I also mentioned that in the other video, but if you go here, you're not supposed to be able to go back. But you can back it up by stomping here, for instance. So something like this, and using the macro to reach this. There's also a small ledge here that you can stand on. So either do the stomp like I was doing there, or if you're not comfortable, you can also do it from here, like just get this, and then you should macro and be able either to get to be into this small corner, or also to grab directly this ledge. And then from here, just go back here. Okay. So before I move on to the final part of the split, let me go back to where I was earlier. So let me go back here. Now I was mentioning that there was another way, and the other way is to do the airship from here. But from here we won't arrive high enough on the mountain. We will arrive lower than the small corner that was the lowest point where I was. So the techniques are a bit different, and I'll try to explain even though I'm not that good at them. So here you have to get the corner boost. Either you get it from the corner here, but be careful, you cannot grab this corner if you fail because of the wire. So what I do instead is trying to get the boost from the corner here. So you see Lumina is standing on the corner, and if you move very slowly here, you can kind of feel the slope. There's a small corner and a small slope here. So what I try to do is to stand really on the edge of it, and then thanks to the wire she will be able to stomp. And then it's the same, you maintain slide and left, and this should give you the boost. Like this. This was a very good one. And then again you want to chain up the macros to do the airship. And we will arrive to a lower part of the mountain. So let me just get there. Okay, and here you want to slide, because she can fall down. So you want to slide here and have enough speed so that you can stomp on that ledge. And you should stomp like around there. You see, like slightly off the cliff, so that she will initiate this slide. If you fall below this, I think you can back it up, but it's a bit hard. And there you would do the usual slide technique. So here it's a bit slow because I'm talking, but you can put some blinks, and you want to reach that small corner here. So what I would do is what I just did, like if I'm in the air high enough, I will do a stomp-cancel. But even if you're sliding and getting there, but she's not clipping into it, kind of, let me repeat this to try to get that, you can kind of slide into it. So because the problem here is that sometimes she doesn't get, okay, like this, so you can hold left and slide and jump, and she should get into it. And from here, the idea is to jump off this small corner, stomp on the slope and jump, and do a full jump. And then you would blink to the right to avoid the corner that's above. So let me try to do this. You should be able, if you jump from here and hold stomp, I think it should trigger the thing by itself. Something like this. Ah, I fell. Okay, it's okay. You can also get the stomp of the cliff from higher up, but I don't have a precise setup for this. But so that was the idea. So you would jump, stomp, and here try not to bonk. Something like this. And if you get a good one, if you get it properly, so worst case scenario, you arrive here and you do what we did before. Worst case, best case scenario, you are able to reach here, and then you can continue. And if you reach just here, there's a small place where you can actually manage to stomp up, like that. So let me just give it another try. I think I started the stomp too late. So you see I could back it up from higher up this time. Oops. This one I shouldn't have jumped actually. So this is a good explanation, good example of what I was saying. Sometimes you want to jump, sometimes you don't want to jump. Please, game. So if you do all of this right, This is actually faster, but if you don't do it right, it's very easy to lose time. So the other method is kind of still a bit safer, at least for me, but we might have to do this later in the future to save more time. I bonked. So of course here the good thing is that if I fail I can just use the mod, but of course in a run this wouldn't be the case. Okay. Well, last try, and if I don't get it, you've seen what it's supposed to do before already, so it's okay. Okay. So yeah, you would go around this corner, and if you get enough height, then you can stomp on this thing or arrive here. And now actually I have a doubt if you can actually arrive here, but at least you can arrive to that place and try to stomp, that's for sure. There is also technically a way to get it back from here, and also from this corner, if you manage to get it and stomp left, but it's I missed it. So the problem is that you really need to be precise for this, so it's a little bit risky. But anyway, so that's the lower airship. Come on. So sometimes you see these slam jumps, they still don't quite do what you expect from them, but it's okay. So the next part is to come here and say you're around here or there, you stomp, make your way up, and here what I would do is to stomp to gain speed. So you can stomp here, but I don't want to get this properly because I have something to explain first. So what we are going to do here is enter this cave, which is the end of the Halvtann fight. And usually if you enter from here, you're not supposed to do it, but what we were doing in runs was to enter from here. It would trigger the cutscene, and then you have to wait for the whole cutscene, which is something like 1 minute 10. And in the middle you have a QTE. And then only at the end you would get the axe. But now we can skip actually the first half of the cutscene. And to do this, we'll use another pause menu trick. So let me show it here first. So what you want to do in a run when you have speed, going to the left, because then when we quit, basically when we will quit the menu, Lumina will be moving, just like the other menu tricks we've been doing. This one is a little bit different though. So you would open the menu, go to the settings and to the controls. And when you're in the controls, you can open one item, whatever, which one, and quit it. And suddenly you gain some control back on the game. So for instance, you can see that if I'm moving left and right, Lumina is also moving. And there are a few things like this that you can do. Actually, she's also supposed to be able to use the cloak, but somehow we are not hearing it there. Anyway, so at least you can see that I can move left and right. And actually here, so I clicked cross, but this is also my jump button, and she's going to jump like this. But the time is frozen. So if you would say do this, and here if I press my blink button, which is also the back button, she will blink, as you can see, and I'm still in the pause menu, but she's not moving anymore. Time is frozen, and she will just move when I quit the menu. However, if when doing this you open the map, which is another thing you can do, then now time will elapse normally. So you can open the map and then close the map, and now you see that I can move Lumina while still having the menu. And I can do everything there. So you have to be a little bit careful, of course, because we are navigating the menu, but this will not be a problem for that trick. So the idea is to do this, to have the menu while we are moving. But if we enter the cutscene just like this, it will be of no help. We will lose control again. So in order to keep control while being in the cutscene, we want to open that thing again. But not quit it this time. We want to have it open when we enter the cutscene. Then you wait a split second, and when you're into the cutscene, you can close this, and then you can exit the pause menu. So I'm going to show this. So when we are in the cutscene, we want to do this: exit the pause menu, and then reopen it. And do that a couple of times, should be 3. Because the funny thing is that the game, actually to trigger the second part of the cutscene, checks either if the first part is over or if the pause menu has been open. So that's what we are going to do. And doing this, we will have control and we will be able to do the QTE. Then we lose control again, but we have skipped half of the cutscene. So let's do this. Let me just save here in case I mess up. So you want some speed, you pause, go to the settings, open that, close, and once you open the map, the time will resume. So when you open the map, Lumina will continue the slide and go into the cutscene. So there you have to be relatively fast, opening the map, closing the map, and opening the setting menu again. So this binding menu. So that's what I'm going to do. And now I can quit and use the menu button a few times, and this will trigger the QTE, just like this. So don't forget to do the QTE, but now we are actually skipping the first half of the cutscene, which is still playing at the same time, but we are in the menu. And you see I cannot move, but as soon as I can move, I will quit to menu and reload. Technically, you can still move normally, just seeing nothing. Like, look, I can move and do things, but this is blind, so it's quite hard, so I just want to reload. But yeah, while the other cutscene is still finishing, you can still move around and try to go to the next part of the run. But this saves a little bit, but you know, it's quite hard, so I would just advise to quit to menu as soon as you can and reload. And actually, when you can quit to menu, it's also when the auto splitter will split, because you get the axe. So that's it for the Halvtann split. And like very good times now for this split would be somewhere below 8:30. But when you will start, I mean, progressively your times will go lower and lower. Already if it's sub 10, it's quite good. Then eventually it will be sub 9, and it will keep improving. And the last thing I want to mention is that these first two splits, Mjolnir and Halvtann, are almost identical in any percent and true ending as they stand now. But from there on, they will be really different. So I'm gonna split the tutorial. There will be the any percent part and the true ending part, and you'll find that out in the titles of the respective videos, all in this same playlist. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.